My name is Mark LaGiacono. I'm with Unlimited Business Loans, and I am located in Blackhawk or Danville, California, which is about 40 minutes south of Napa Valley.
When did you take that global training, and what did you do before that?
Well, I took the training in May of 2015, I believe it was. So I've been there a year. I've been doing this business for over a year and some odd months. I had two businesses prior to this. Both businesses were in high tech. The first company was actually my first job out of college that I wound up in a 17-year stint. I worked there for 4 years and then partnered with the original owner and then bought him out. And in 1999, I put .com on the company name and sold the business. And then shortly after that, I started my second high-tech company. It was a software sales company, primarily online. And I ran that company for 13 years and sold it to my number one employee. And then after that, I took a year off, kind of looked around to see what I was going to do. I was considering being a business broker, but in fact, I became more interested in the lending side of the business venture as opposed to putting the actual purchase or sale of the business in contract. So I'm very glad that I did that because I'm having a lot of fun with the funding side and the funding requirements for business owners.
That's kind of extraordinary that you went from owning two businesses to being in the funding business. What made you decide to do that?
Well, it seems like they're completely unrelated, but as any business owner knows, or real business owner knows, the crux of any business is the cash flow. And in order to manage cash flow, you have to have loans. And my first business I owned at 32 years old, I didn't have anything but loans. I had no credit, so I had to use very high-risk lending practices to start my company as a young man. I used factoring. I used private money, anything I could get my hands on to grow my business and accelerate that business. So the loans I'm working with today are basically the same loans that I used to use in my startup practices, and as I matured and the companies matured, obviously funding became came to me a little more easily, and again, I still use those types of loans today to even operate this business. So it's all actually well connected.
What made you decide to take the training with Global?
As I was researching the possibilities of my next business and specifically researching the funding of business owners, you had to be asleep at the wheel not to at least run across Phil's program once or twice a day, to say the least, on the internet. So it intrigued me. At first, I didn't really want to deal with it or think about it. I wanted to do something completely from scratch and on my own. But it became very apparent after a couple of emails and inquiries and then speaking with Phil, it became very apparent that the perception was that after Phil's class, I would be in business the next day. And I can't stress enough to people how true to form that actually was. Initially, I looked at Phil's program as, a possibility or even a way to figure out the market and then just go out and do it myself. But what was really nice and refreshing was that after Phil's class, it absolutely hit 100% of my expectations, in that literally the next day after his course, I had business cards, a website, lenders in my pocket, and a complete understanding of how I was going to go out and fish and make a living with fishing for my clients, as opposed to depending on him or some franchise system to feed me. So I literally was in business the next day. Affluent area, and there are a lot of banks here. I gravitated to his two discussion points of working with bankers and their declines, and I gravitated towards joining referral groups. He's big on the BNI. I did join the BNI, and then subsequently I joined probably 10 other groups related to the BNI, and that just snowballed into an incredible referral source. But the number one referral source I have today are my bankers and their relations.
How is your business doing?
We're doing extremely well. I'm very happy with the growth and all of the projections that I had set initially with the business. I now have a full-time assistant. I have a possible new sales rep coming up in a new territory that I want to bring on that will be selling for me. I have a couple telemarketers going after construction, leasing, and lending opportunities, and I have a bookkeeper. So, you know, here I am a year and some odd months later. You could say that I'm probably around 6 people deep, and most importantly for me in this business, I'm in control. I manage the personal relationships with the bankers, the customers, the transactions, the lenders, and that's the way I wanted it. I love the fact that I'm truly a small business and able to do as much as I do, performing as a broker, not the lender and not the banker.
What's the average size of your deals?
You know, it's probably, it's more like ranges. I have a lot of funding that I do at the small levels, people needing 100 to 250,000 quickly. We do have programs that we can obtain that kind of money for a business owner within weeks, sub 2 weeks, sometimes as quick as a week. I get a lot of those, sometimes 6 to 10 a day of that type of scenario. The next step up is the $500,000 to about $1.5 million. A lot of SBA loans there. Either business acquisition, partner buyout, competitor buyout, something of that nature. And those will range between the $500,000 to $1.5 million. That's not to say we don't get the $2.5 million credit line or term loan, those types of scenarios. But on average, those are the middle tier. And then on the high end, or on the high tier, I do spend quite a bit of time working on commercial real estate projects that literally start at about $5 million and can go up to $20 million or more. So it's kind of 3 tiers are what I would consider to be my normal mix of business. There's no one that I deal with. It's all 3. Great program, great rates, great process. Long story short, we're able to obtain multiple credit cards for a client that will total anywhere from $50,000 as far as up to $300,000, and they all come with some form of 0% introductory offer interest rates. So it's common for me to be able to get a client $100,000 to $150,000 in a few weeks, and that is at 0% interest for up to 2 years.